What's up, guys? I am really excited about today's podcast. Unfortunately, Erin can't be here because she's taking care of her amazing clients. But we have Jourdanne hopping on here in just a second. I was trying to figure out how to use this microphone on my computer, but that's going to have to wait. I have no idea where or how this conversation is going to go, but stoked on it. Oh, I have like eggs in my teeth. I did have Erin send me some videos of some questions that she would have for Jourdanne. So I'll go about it that way, making sure she got this link because, I'm not the most tech savvy sometimes. I know emails are easy, but oh man, sometimes I screw that up too. Farah's gonna kick it with us. A little sidekick. There she is.
Hey,
What's up, Mama?
how are you?
I'm so good. Thank you so much for taking a couple of minutes to just chat with me.
Of course.
I'm so
Look at the
excited for this.
pooch. Look
Yeah,
at the
she's my
diapers.
little, yeah, she's my sidekick.
Yeah, mine's around here somewhere.
What kind of dog? You have like a bully too, don't you?
No, she's a Bruston. So
Oh,
it's a Brussels Griffon Boston Terrier.
okay. All right. I feel like I don't really see Boston Terriers that much anymore ever since Frenchies kind of like took the scene.
Yeah, that's a good point. Yeah, Khaleesi, come here. Come here. Come here. Come here, Munchkin. Come here.
Crazy.
Yeah, her name's Khaleesi.
Aw. She has like, she has whiskers. She's like a Boston Terrier with like a man's beard.
She looks like Mr. Miyagi
She does.
from the Karate Kid. Hi, Munchkin. Oh, okay,
Aw.
I'll go now. So what's been
So
going on? How you doing?
Dude, I'm good. I'm super good. I'm kind of bummed because I told you Erin, she's usually my co-host. We like just started this podcast, so it's fairly new, but she's taking care of some clients today. I did have her send me a couple of videos because I know she was like so excited to talk to you and she had so many questions. So we'll probably go through that stuff, but life's been good. Yeah, life's been good. Right now I'm just like I guess just under 3 weeks out for nationals. So that's
I'll
pretty
see
good
you
right now.
there.
Are you going to be there?
Yeah,
Do you have some clients there?
I do.
Atta girl. That's dope. I'm excited for you guys.
Yeah, I'll be excited to give you a hug and cheer up
Yeah.
everything.
So, all right. So this whole podcast, I know I told you like I don't really script anything. I don't have any specific questions for you, but I'm just really excited to talk to you because I know that you're a busy woman. You have a lot going on. Obviously, you're a very accomplished athlete. I have been following you for so long, and I just look up to you so much. And it's not just like your competitive career, which is very decorated. You're a top Olympian. Like you have so much in the bag as far as the accomplishments that you've made just within the sport of bodybuilding. But one of the reasons that I look up to you so much and I love following you is because you present such an authentic version of yourself, and I just appreciate that energy so much. I love the energy that you put into everything that you do. I love how your personality shines through in everything that you do, from the stage to the work at the gym to how you dress and articulate yourself. And I just think you're just a whole vibe. And so I think, like, if I could ask you one question to kind of kick things off, is like, how how is it that you have found a good balance between being a professional athlete and also just being authentic and representing yourself in that way, to the world?
Well, I want to thank you so much for those kind words. I really do appreciate that. Real recognize real girl.
Yeah, I love you, girl. You're dope.
Thank you. You're so sweet. I remember when we met in 2022 at the Legion, and you were just like so awesome and so sweet. So
Yeah,
thank you. But how I balance it all, honestly, it's one of those things where you just are we allowed to curse?
yeah, you can just honestly just be yourself. I
Okay.
know I feel like I should have probably like briefed you before we got on here, but you can say whatever it is that you're comfortable with and just be yourself. Yeah, I don't edit anything out.
So literally, like, you just have to fucking do it. Literally, when you have goals and you've committed those things to yourself, the only way to get to them is to do the work, right? Because at the end of the day, you set those goals and it's on you. It's not on anyone else to accomplish the things that you want to accomplish. So if I want to, get everything done in my day and I've made these promises and these commitments to people, like I just have to do it literally, and I do my best not to use filler words like I can't, because I feel like when you use things like that, it already sets you up for failure. So like the way that my mental works is when I only take on what I know I can accomplish and do well. And I'm only going to say yes if I know I can commit to something, right? And then I feel like in regard to like the authenticity through, being in this industry and in this sport, I've gotten a lot of shit for being myself, to be honest. Some people call it like a really polarizing effect.
Mhm.
You either love me or hate me, you
Yeah,
know, and very few are in between. But if you're not yourself at the end of the day and you're not authentic, then what are you living for? It's so stressful to be something you're not and to be a watered down version of yourself, right? Like our
yeah,
jobs are to be our most maximum version of who we are. You never want to be something that you're not. How do you find yourself if you're constantly pretending or putting on this facade? Like, how can you truly live happily if you're not genuinely yourself? Right?
yeah.
So I like when I first started like all of this bodybuilding stuff, I worked in corporate. So I worked in business technology, and just naturally having a corporate job and competing, I had to just be very careful because there's still that professionalism that I needed to maintain with my corporate job. And then I'm not saying bodybuilding isn't professional, but they're just kind of like two different worlds, if that makes sense.
Yeah, absolutely. Most people in a corporate setting are not going to understand why your ass is all over, like when you're
Yeah.
standing on stage in a bikini. Like, I think people just in general, like the general public who doesn't understand bodybuilding, which for if you're in the sport is a big deal, you understand it. But for like for most people, that's a very niche thing that people aren't going to understand. And I think people generally tend to sexualize it maybe a little bit.
Mhm.
Definitely understand
Yeah,
what you mean by that. Yeah.
for sure. Yeah, I mean, bodybuilding is highly sexualized. We're not even gonna front about that. It is, but when I was working corporate, I had to just be a little more careful because at the time there were still a lot of baby boomers that were like in leadership and management roles that quite didn't understand like what bodybuilding was, right? So those older generations that I would have business meeting with, be it business meetings with, and would have to work with, so on and so forth. I'm not saying it's disrespectful, but I kind of wanted to like respect that and like not make things kind of weird and awkward. Of course, like naturally, like the internet is there, you can search anything and you can find things. But like within my power, I just felt like for that time, I had to be a little bit more low key until I left my corporate job. And then that's when I really started to like come out and be like not be myself because I'm always myself, but show more of my personality. But again, even for like several years after I left corporate, I was still a little bit like more closed. Like you'd see like glimmers here and there, but like not like fully, fully, fully open. And like it has been a struggle for me to like truly share who I am, the things I do on a day-to-day basis and stuff like that. Like it's taken me years to get here just because I'm such a private person and I'm like, I'm giving away like so many bits of me. But then eventually you're like, you know what? Like, fuck it. Like seriously, I was like, you know what? Just it is what it is. And I'm gonna say this. And if it offends people, well,
Yeah.
it's not
Yeah,
personal,
feel
like
like I can relate to you so much in that sense, which again is like is one of the reasons why I follow you. Like I'm so quick with the unfollow button or the mute button on social media if it's just like not speaking to me. But I've like obviously we're at very different places within our career just within the sport of bodybuilding. But as far as social media goes and presenting on social media, like I've had mine for probably close to 10 years now. And it's been a ride, like trying to figure out like what that looks like for me. And
hmm
all I know is personally, when I first got started, it was like trying to appeal to all these different personalities or all these different interests or likes. And then you start to get the noise, like the chatter,
yeah,
people comment,
yeah.
can't believe you said this, she said this. And it's like
Oh
that
yeah.
starts to, if you let that type of shit affect you, next thing you know, like the way that you're showing up is just you don't even recognize that person anymore. And
Yeah.
I I just came to a point, like you said, where I was like, like, what the fuck does it matter? Like, who
It
cares?
doesn't.
People are going to either love me or hate me, no matter what I do. There's
hmm
absolutely no reason to show up as anything other than myself. And what I found in doing that, like the more I keep kind of leaning into that and take like it feels first of all, it feels like there's a weight lifted. Like there's no restrictions. I can just be who I want to be. I'm not worried about offending people or attracting the right people or anybody
Yep.
picking me or choosing me. And what ends up happening is the people who you want to be around and the people who are your people,
They
they're there.
stay. They
Like they're
stay.
there. So
Yeah.
that's the beauty in that. I'm not saying that you should just like say hurtful things or spiteful things just because like I don't care what people think, but like just representing yourself and showing up in an authentic way, your personality, your
That.
dislikes, your how like you don't have to show every little detail of your life in that either. But I think it's very obvious when I'm scrolling who is actually showing up as themselves and who is
Mhm.
actually just like copy and pasting. And I think it's really easy in anything, but you know, we talk about bodybuilding a lot here, but within this sport specifically, what I see is a lot of people just kind of like repeating the same things that other people are doing. And I don't know if it's because like they're afraid to do it their own
Mhm.
way
Yeah,
or they don't
absolutely.
know any better, but like
Yeah.
something I wanted to ask you too, because I feel like I do this and I see this in you, and it makes everything so much more fun and sustainable. But like the preps get hard. Like putting your body through preps and stuff is mentally challenging. It's physically challenging, obviously, but there's a way to do this thing that's like you can do it your way. Like you can
Yeah.
do it styly. You can do it like it doesn't have to be this person's way or this person's way. You don't have to take all your supplements from this one line or
Yeah.
like whatever the case may be. Like find something that works for you, that inspires you, that makes you want to show up in the best way that you can every day. And that's how you're going to find your stride and be able to stay doing this for a long time. That's how I feel.
100%. And like you mentioned something, people are scared.
Yeah.
People are scared to be themselves. And like the internet is really, really ruthless. Like you have all these keyboard gangsters, keyboard warriors that like talk the most shit on the internet. And like maybe they get a tidbit of a story or one side of the story, but they don't know the whole truth. And then they just go to the internet and just start blasting when they don't know the full truth, you know? And a lot of people are afraid to be themselves because they are afraid of backlash,
Mhm. Yeah,
right?
definitely.
The only person you should be afraid of is your mama. Like these people don't know you. These people don't know where you come from. They don't know the life you lived. They don't live in your shoes on a day-to-day basis. They don't know what you're going through. They're just so quick to grab one thing they heard or one thing they saw or one thing they seen or maybe that one experience they had with you and they think they know it all. You know what I mean? But there's levels. There's surface level relationships. There's truly knowing a person. There's truly knowing a person, where they came from, the things that they went through, their traumas, all of that. So a lot of people have that fear of being rejected or
Definitely.
backlash. And it's like the ones with a voice who actually speak out are the ones that are ridiculed and the ones that are dragged. But I mean, I've been there. I don't give a fuck.
I
I
don't
don't
either.
I do not care what people think about me.
Don't either.
The people that are most important to me, that's who that those opinions are the ones that matter to me most, right? Not someone I don't know. I don't care. At the end of the day, it's not going to change me or who I am or what I do. And like, I live a genuine life. Like, my heart is genuine. Things that I do are genuine. Like whether it doesn't matter what it is. Like, if I say something, I'm going to stand on that.
Yeah.
Right? That's just what it is. And the thing that I find is there's a lot of people pleasing. And with people pleasing, there comes a lot of noodling or straddling. You're on this side and you're on this side. Well, which one are you gonna pick? I don't get down like that.
Uh,
Like if I say I'm X, like I'm X and that's that. That's it. Like call me mean, call me a bitch, call me unapproachable, whatever that may be. Like I'm standing on business regardless of what it is that I say, and I don't loft. Like I was not raised that way. My moral compass was not raised that way. My family did not raise me to noodle or straddle. My family raised me to stand for what I believe in and to be genuine. And there's a difference. Like a lot of people don't understand intention. Some people are just straight malicious and mean and rude and want to hurt people versus others are direct and bold and speak facts. It's not the same thing. And a lot of people get that misconstrued and screwed. It's not the same thing. And we live in a world where everybody gets a participation freaking medal. Like
yeah.
it's the wussification of America. Like not everybody has to be you don't have to like everyone and not everyone has to like you. Like it's okay. Like you don't have to be loved by every single person. You should want to be loved by the people that see you for who you are and accept you for who you are truthfully and honestly and are going to be there for you. Like I've
Yeah.
always said this. I rather have 3 real friends than 30 fake motherfuckers. Like I don't want fake people around me. I don't. Like I have a very, very, very small circle of people that are close to me. And that's for a reason. I'm not saying like fuck everybody else. I'm not saying that at all. But the people that are close to me, they understand me and they get it. And I don't have to explain to them why I am the way I am or who I am or for reasons why, and it's like everybody wants to be pretty as a penny and like put on this facade, like
Yeah.
just be you,
Yeah,
just
I
be
agree.
you. Like it's okay.
Dude,
People
and
are probably
those kind of people that are like quality people in your life that you can actually pour yourself into, like you only have so much energy to go around at the end of the day. And so if you're doing the whole noodling thing, like you're leaking energy in places that aren't even going to lift you up. And like those types of people that the small circle, I can relate to that so much. But it's like I'd rather have that and know that this person is actually going to be honest with me if I'm fucking up somewhere too.
Mhm.
Like you said, they're not going to candy coat things. They're not just going to say something like in life, whether your goals are financial, relationship, physical, like your fitness, no matter what it is, like if you don't have that type of circle and that type of people around you that are going to push you to that next level, then you're really just shooting yourself in the foot. Like you're going to continue to stay at this level if that's where you're spending all of your energy. So like putting time and energy into those relationships that do fuel you in that way, I think I look at it as an investment. It's like I can definitely give back to these people. I only have limited resources to go around, so choose wisely. And when you do find those three real ones, like keep them
Keep
really.
them. Keep them.
Yeah,
Yeah, you like, and those are the people like that if they check you, you want them to check you. You want them to be
exactly.
like, you want them to like it, hey bud, like you got to clean it up, like that wasn't right, like,
Yeah,
and you know that it's coming from a place of love. You know that they're giving you that feedback because they care about you and they want to see you do better and they want to push you, right? Like your circle should be those people who are going to call you out on your nonsense, who are going to celebrate you, encourage you, you know, put in the same type of energy into the relationship than
yeah,
you,
I
right? And
agree.
it should be like effortless. You just click. And again, like you don't have to click with everyone. You don't have to get along with everyone,
You're not
you
going to.
know. Yeah, it's just one of those things like when you find your people, your village, you hold them close and as you get older, life only gets busier and your time is limited and so is your energy. Like we all have so many things to do. We're so overstimulated by like social media, TV, like the things that we have to do on a day-to-day basis. Your people should bring you comfort and they're going to love you for who you are and
It's
that's who you should
hectic.
rock with.
It's
Yeah.
definitely hectic. I think
Yeah.
it can find a minute to like find your way, especially like just talking about you in particular. You have a huge platform. Obviously, there's a lot of eyes on you. You are a very popular athlete. You're a successful athlete. People look up to you. Along with that, like you said, there's gonna be some haters. That's just how life is. But like listen to the people that are in your circle. Those are the people you want to listen to. Who cares what everybody else says? Like that's something that's going on inside them.
Yeah.
That's my thing. That's your thing. But I think it can be hard, and I don't know, maybe you can speak on this a little bit, but it takes a little bit of time to find that within that space that you can kind of exist like on this other level above that and like look down on it and say, okay, like these are the things I'm going to take from within this journey, still maintaining and upholding who I am and being authentic to who I am, but also having an understanding that there are a lot of eyes on me and that
Hmm.
I can be a positive impact to people. I think that's where it becomes more effortless is like, how can I just show up as myself and speak to the people that are going to hear me and see me. That's kind of where the beauty in what you do lies and like how I see you at least. I see like this beautiful woman who's so successful and so accomplished, yet she's strong. She doesn't take shit from anybody. She's gonna show up as herself, same Jourdanne, day in and day out. But also following you over the years, like I've seen a lot of shifts in you and changes in you, and you've elevated yourself and consistently elevated yourself. So that's why I'm a rider. That's why I still follow and I still admire you because like that's how I want to be. I don't want to stay complacent. I don't want to be the same person that I was last year or the year before, but I always want to share that with my people because I know people are watching. Like I want them to
Yeah.
see that too. Like I'm human, I struggle, I make mistakes. I've done things that I don't ever want to do again, just like
Hmm.
everybody does. And I
Yeah.
think it's silly to represent yourself as anything else because, like you said, like you're never going to find your people that way. You're never going to
Yeah.
find a good partner. You're never going to actually truly appreciate and love yourself and find that validation from within yourself. If you're always trying to be this like pick me version of yourself for all
Yeah.
people that don't even fucking matter. You don't know these people.
Yep.
Yeah.
And when this is all said and done, like there's still life. You still have to live life and like live with yourself. Like
Yeah.
like the way I see things is you have to act in a way that you are going to be proud of what you've done. And this is something that I actually like struggle with is identifying my successes and celebrating my wins and being proud of myself. It's something that I've always struggled with as long as I can remember.
It's so hard.
So, part of me.
It's so hard.
Yeah, it's hard. Like whether it was from a career perspective or with bodybuilding. And it's one of those things that also has made me accomplished because I'm always working towards the next goal. Like, when an athlete wins a competition, right? And they have this very emotional moment when their name is called first place, right?
Yeah.
For me, and for those of you who have watched me on my journey and have like watched the live streams when I have like won a show, I don't have that reactionary moment where I'm like falling to my knees and I'm like, thanking the universe and God and I'm crying. I don't have those moments and there's nothing wrong with that.
Because you're
But
already on the next thing.
bingo.
I
Yep.
know.
I'm okay, like literally I'm like time to level up.
Yeah.
Like for me to progress and get better, like this just means I have to work harder, right? And I from like an emotional perspective like that, I just don't express myself. I don't output that way in public. Um, and again, there's nothing wrong with that. That's just like how I am. I kind of like internalize a lot of things. And I'm very to myself for certain things, but I'm such an overthinker that I'm like, what's the next level? How am I going to level up now? Like I've accomplished this, but in order for me to be greater and be better, there is so much more work to do. And then I'm thinking, okay, what's the work that I have to
Yeah.
get done? What is it that I have to get done? So it's not necessarily that I'm unappreciative because I love what I do. If I didn't appreciate everything about what I do, I wouldn't do it. But
Yeah.
it's just
Totally.
the over analyzer in me. And I'm already thinking like, okay, how can I become a better athlete? What can I do going into this next training session on Monday? Like the show's on Saturday, go home Sunday on Monday. What can I do in the gym on Monday to make me better? What can I do a little bit tighter with my macros or my nutrition or recovery? Like I'm always thinking about, okay, what's the next step? Right? Because like the goal is to win the Olympia. That's my goal. And that to be the best in the world, there's nine other girls or eight other girls in front of me right now. So what do I have to do to surpass and be better? Right. So I'm always thinking. Um, and that's just what it is. Like if you are complacent with whatever happened at the moment with let's say this year I placed ninth. If I'm complacent with ninth or if I'm complacent with, winning a show to qualify, that maybe there are other shows that are harder. I'm not gonna get better. I'm just not. Like,
Yep.
yes, ninth in the world is an incredible accomplishment, but I could have been better. I wasn't my best. I was my best for that prep, but was
That's
that
all
the
you
best?
can do.
Was that the best that Jourdanne could bring? Has Jourdanne's full potential been shown? No. Has it been unlocked? Yes. But I'm not satisfied. If I was satisfied, then
You'd
there's no
retire.
way, yeah, and there's no way for me to progress and get better. So like you have to stay hungry. You
Yeah.
absolutely have to stay hungry.
I absolutely love that mentality again, just because I think the world in general, like you said, with the participation award crisis, I will call it, it's a pandemic. Like,
Hmm.
I feel like that's lack. It's like there's a void there in this generation that speaks directly to that type of work ethic that you just don't see in everybody.
Hmm.
People literally will complain about doing a job that they were hired for, like the bare minimum requirements of their job or whatever the case may be. Like, if you don't have that sort of innate like drive to be like, okay, what's next? What am I doing to apply myself for the next thing? Then you will be stagnant.
Yeah.
So yeah, I admire that, and I think in order to be elite at anything, especially in this sport, you have to think like that. There's nothing wrong with, like you said, different personalities showing different emotional reactions to things, but
Hmm.
if you're not already planning and thinking about the next step, then some girl out there is. I guarantee
Yep.
she's already put in the
100%.
work. Yeah.
100%. Like our Olympia champions who have won 7 Olympias in a row, 6 Olympias in a row, you think they're like satisfied with that win? No, they're right back in the lab. They're
They're
right
not
back in the
taking the
gym
2 weeks off.
grinding.
Yeah.
Yeah, like I have always gotten right back into it. Like the only exception is if I'm like physically sick or I'm injured or like I'm going through something, but like I'm right back in there and they are right back in there,
Yep.
perfecting their craft and becoming even better versions of their self. They have that hungry mentality. They have that on to the next mentality. That's why they've been able to win consecutively. That's why they're unfuckable with,
Yeah.
period, straight to the point. Because again, if they don't have that on to the next mentality, someone else is going to surpass them, right? And you have to have that edge in order to get better. Like this sport is so freaking mental as much as it is physical. Like you got to push the limits, and the physical and mental, they're connected, right?
Yep.
Like you got to push through those training sessions. When those reps hurt, that's when your body's changing and that's when you're getting better, you know? Like it's unreal, you always and it's like, okay, so let's draw a parallel to like school or corporate continuing education, right?
Yep.
In order for a person to advance in their career, to become better in their career, is they have to have that on to the next mentality. Okay, what can I do? How can I educate myself to level up and get better so I can either advance in my career or, get to that leadership role or like work, whatever it may be. It all applies to every single area in life. Like, how can I be a better parent? What can I do? How can I continue? Well, how can I educate myself to be a better parent or
Mm-hmm.
sister or daughter? Like, from like an emotional perspective and empathy and like learning those things, like it's all the same thing, just in different ways, you
So
know?
true. It's so
So,
true. I think that's why like a lot of relationships kind of don't last too, is because people don't have that type of mentality. Like, what am I bringing to the table every
hmm.
day within this? Whether it's your friendship or like a family member, like you said, or like your romantic partner. I think we do kind of just live in that generation of like expecting things to happen for us instead of like, what is my role in this? Like,
Yep.
this is my life. These are the things that I have within my control. What am I doing to take this to the next level instead of just waiting for things to pop off?
Yeah, it's like you're stagnant in your relationship, you're complacent. What can you and I do together as a unit so we can take things to the next level, right? How, like, what can I do to learn more about you, to better understand you, to make you feel loved or to keep your love tank full and feel appreciated? Then the same thing goes for me, like
Mhm.
that continuing education to progress, right? We all want to get better, if not for ourselves, for each other. And like the tying it back to, competitions and competing, for me, it's like, okay, what can I do to get better? Because that will also translate in how I can be a better coach.
Yeah,
Because
absolutely.
that's my full-time career. I coach athletes, and me being a competitor also gives me an edge because I understand every
Yeah,
single thing that they're going through, from the food struggles to the um uh scheduling struggles, through the plateaus in the gym, through the mental hardships, whether it's family or relationships. Like I've been through all of that shit.
mhm.
So I get it, right? And I can sniff the nonsense from a bazillion miles away. Like I know if someone's working hard or if someone's not working hard. I know when someone's on their shit versus if they're not on their shit. But again, me bettering myself as an athlete just allows me to become a better coach for
Yeah,
that. And like everything that I do, I have my athletes in mind because I am also setting an example for them, right? Because I want them, my goal as a coach is to give them the best experience I possibly can while putting my foot down.
right.
Because if you give them an inch, they'll take a mile.
I was just gonna ask you, like, I feel like just knowing how you like your personality and knowing who you are, I feel like you are that type of a coach that's like not gonna like pussyfoot around shit. You can be like,
Nope.
hey, you probably should have shown up a little better this way.
Yep.
Like,
Yeah. 100%. No, like what you see is what you get. Like how I am on social media is literally like that is me. And my athletes, I always tell them like, hey, it's my job to be assertive with you and stern when you're not on your shit. If you have all these goals and you say you want to do this and you want to do that, but you're saying it and you're not actioning it, I'm going to call you on your shit. And again, it's always from a place of love, but as a coach, it's my job to be assertive. And some people take it the wrong way and leave. Well, guess what? Bodybuilding is fucking hard.
like
And
you can be mediocre on your own. You've been being
yeah.
mediocre before you like they reached out to hire you for a reason. So
Hmm. Yep.
that's because of what you've accomplished because of these principles and values and the way that you show up. So you would
Yep.
be doing them a disservice if you didn't try to impart that type of thing on them.
Yeah, absolutely. Like I've been there. Like I've had so many phases within my career in bodybuilding of, just riding off of my genetics, completely fucking off in an off season and being terrible and, learning my lessons, having
Yeah.
really great preps, having hard preps. Like I've made those mistakes. I've done those things. So I'm like, I'm not telling you these things for no reason. I'm not giving you this sort of guidance for no reason. I've lived it.
Yep.
So rest assured, I have your best interest at heart. But if you're not on your shit and you're bull crapping me,
I can tell.
I don't get down like that. Like what you put in is what you get out. If you don't give me 100%, how am I supposed to coach you? If you're not doing your part, how am I supposed to coach you? If you're not checking in on time, if you're not checking in, it's not my job to chase you down.
Yep.
You
Yeah,
are
I
an
agree.
adult and you have a responsibility to check in with me. Like I've been there where I've gone on man hunts for athletes,
Yeah.
right? And they don't give a fuck. And I'm like, come on, like you guys have to absolutely do your part. You can't cut corners. And the minute I hear like an athlete utter the three letters PRO, pro, I'm like, oh yeah? Do you even know what that means? Like, do you know what it takes to get there? There are even a lot
Show
of
me.
pros. There are a lot of pros currently that are still learning and understanding what it truly takes to become a pro. Like, there's
Yeah.
steps, there's lifestyle changes that you have to make, you know? There are commitments that you have to follow through with. There is time that you have to invest in. Like, you're talking about becoming a professional athlete.
It's your life. Like it's not just the prep. You actually said a couple things in there that really resonate with me. I obviously have not achieved that status yet. It's something that I'm working towards. But one of the things that I always keep in mind, and I have like, dude, I write shit on my mirrors, like on my rear view mirror. I have stuff written like on my background on my phone. I have like things that I need to remember, but within all of that is like be a pro. Like show up as a pro every day. I realize that I'm always going to continue to learn and progress, but like if I don't step into that role and treat every single day in my life as that, then it's not going to happen for me.
Yep.
So I think it's important to remember that, and especially speaking, like you said, you fucked off on your off seasons before. I have too, but it is so detrimental to you. You will not get past where you were last time. You're going to keep showing up the same, keep showing up.
It ain't worth it. Like
No.
prime example, and I haven't really talked about this in depth, but I had a hellacious off season last year. Like probably the worst I've ever had ever. Wasn't good. I had
Just like
I
mental
just
things or like,
yeah, I had a lot of things going on and I had a lot of scary things happen with food that's never happened before ever.
mhm,
And it was the most terrible off season I've ever had physically and mentally. Um, I did not want to train. I hated training. I did not want to be anywhere close to a gym. It was rough. It was rough. And because that was such a terrible off season, my prep was very hard.
mhm,
My prep was hard. And that's why I did not bring my best 100%. Like I didn't bring my best. Last 2023 Olympia, I placed 10th. This year I placed 9th. So by the grace of the universe, God, whatever you want to call it, whatever you believe in, I was able to move up a spot. But if I was on my shit, I would have moved up more, but
yeah.
I wasn't. And when, after the this year's Olympia was done and I had a moment to like I went through my little like emotional yada yada yada. But like once I was clear, I had a little bit more food in me and I could think and see straight. I was like, you know what? That was on me. Like I completely fucked up my off season. I had to prep hard. And
Mhm,
because of the way I had to prep, I didn't bring my best. And I cannot do that ever again. Like it is not worth it. Granted, there were a lot of, during that off season, just like I kind of mentioned before, mental and emotional things that were like it just was not in control. And it was really, really scary. And there are gonna be times that that happens with some of my athletes, and I get it. Like I've been through it. I've
mhm.
been through it. I understand. But let me tell you something. That'll never happen again.
Well, like
That'll never.
the way that you're looking at it and dissecting it though, like that's that champion mentality that I'm talking about though, because like shit is gonna happen in life. Like sometimes you're going to have your back up against the wall. There's going to be things, there's going to be outside factors, there's going to be internal factors that are going to impact your mental well being, which is going to impact your physical well being, which is going to impact your overall look on stage. And I have definitely been there too. And I have definitely been guilty of utilizing a prep scenario to distract myself from
Mhm.
that internal bullshit, and it always shows up physically on stage. I'm like, damn, I look like shit this year. Like I did not I yeah, I see what I
May
did
get
there.
away with it. You may get away with it one time, but if
Yeah,
you it prolongs,
yeah.
it won't work. It
But
just
like
won't work.
you're taking from it, and not only are you going to implement that in your own life, and I know you already are, that's just how you are. You're like, okay, I see these areas where I could do better here. That's what growth mentality is. But now you
Absolutely.
actually have like more experience within that to where, like you said, you can identify it in your athletes, call it out in them, and also be
Mhm.
like, yo, I can relate to what you're going through. Like, here's what I took away from this, and here's what
Yep.
you can take away from this, which is why they're hiring you.
Yeah. And like the other thing too, like there's two things. Like again, at the level that I compete at, for the goals that I have, which is to win the Olympia, there is not anything that can come between me and doing that. Like that's the stakes. That's truly what it is. There's nothing that can come between me and doing the work to get there. Everything else can fuck off. Like just straight up. Like this is my perfection. Like my goal is to be the best in the world. My goal is to be the bikini standard. And if there's something that comes in between me and that, it's got to go. And it sounds selfish, but it is selfish, 100%. This is one of the most selfish sports there is. I
No,
mean,
it's okay to be selfish in your life though.
mhm,
Like it's your life.
yeah, 100%. And like the other thing too, like as a coach, for me and also my coach, like the feeling that you have when you see your athlete undo all that hard work, that's hard.
Like womp
Especially when
womp womp.
it's not even it's just it's like you like really fuck that up really really good, you know? Because then you know what it's gonna take to like get back. And then as women, our bodies and our hormones do what they want sometimes, right? Sometimes they're unpredictable,
Yeah.
and there are going to be times as a coach where you're going to have to put your athlete in a situation where you're going to have to push them, and you know that they may not be their best, but when you have a standing that you have to uphold, the stakes are just a little bit different and you have to do what you have to do, right? But
Such
for
an
me,
underspoken about dynamic of being a coach that I feel like we could probably have a whole nother podcast and talk
oh
about
yeah,
that. But yeah, you just brought up something that's like that hits really hard because it's like this there's this line of like, okay, obviously I care about you very much. Your health is very important, your mental well-being is very important. And then there's also this line of like, you're telling me you want to achieve this goal. I know what it's going to take and how hard you're going to have to push yourself to get to this goal. Like
yep,
within that is like some type of discernment that nobody can ever prepare you for. There's no handbook for that.
nope. Like there are times, and again, because I've been through it, I get it, where I'm like, this is gonna hurt, but this is what I have to do. And I like the way I operate as a coach is based on my athletes' goals. It how I coach them may change a little bit, right? So again, if somebody utters those three letters PRO, I'm gonna push you. I'm gonna push you.
Yeah.
I'm not saying I don't push my other athletes, but somebody who's just like, I just want to get on stage just to experience it and they don't
Right.
care about placing or going to nationals or getting pro card, that level of intensity is not going to be the same as somebody who, you know, has a shot to get the pro card or has a lot of potential. You know what I'm saying?
I
Again, I'm not
agree.
saying right, like, and let me just make something clear. I'm not saying that I'm easier on other people, but if somebody is continuously saying, I want this, I want this, I want this, I want this grandiose goal of becoming a pro, and they're not doing what they need to do to get there, I'm putting my foot down.
Mm. Yeah,
Period.
your actions need to be in alignment with what you're saying that you want every day.
One 100%. Or if there's an athlete that, when they check in and they express their frustration, but they're not following their shit. And I'm
Yeah,
like, the only person that you have, I hate to use the word blame, but the only person that you need to recognize within this situation is yourself because you're not doing what you need to do to get there. If you're not doing your part as an athlete, how can I do my part as a coach?
exactly. It's like you
Tell
said, you
me.
get out of it what you put in.
Yeah, you get out of it what you put in, and you absolutely have to stay committed to those things to get to where you want to get to. But that's not just with bodybuilding, that is with life.
Yeah, for sure.
With it, if you have goals of saving X amount of money, but you're consistently buying bullshit that you don't need, and you're like, I'm
Buying
so
every
frustrated, but
single iron will drop that there is.
thanks for the support
Because
though.
fucking I saw Jourdanne wearing it and she looks good, so I need that shit.
But
Okay,
yeah, but
so flipping the switch really quick. I don't mean to cut you off, but
no, you're good.
you said something that I wanna pull up Erin's videos because she asked a question to you that you kind of touched on, which was like once you achieve that pro status, and she just got her pro card at the Olympia Amateur.
Yeah.
She's been a pro. Okay. She lives it. She's been a pro. It was time. It was her time. But her question, just being a student of the sport to you, and I'll play it, was more so along the lines of what you said was like there are still pros who are learning how to be a pro. And I don't think that that mentality really should ever go away. Like you should always be a student to the sport. You should always be open to learning, to looking up to those who are ahead of you. Like you're trying to win the Olympia. I guarantee that you're looking up to the people and being the person that Miss Olympia is or has been in the past. Like that is what you have set your standards to. So I think I'll play her videos, but that's a good question that I think everybody can benefit from is like once you do kind of make it into this place, then what? Now what? What are those next steps looking like? Okay, here's Erin.
Okay.
I'm just gonna let him run through.
Oh, I can't hear them. Should I be hearing them?
Oh, you can't hear these?
Uh-uh.
You're all just sitting there quiet. Let's try.
I was like, should I be hearing something? Uh-oh.
I wonder why. Okay, I clearly don't know how to make that work. Let's try it on my phone instead.
Yeah.
You're all just smiling, like, this is so weird.
No, it's okay. I was just letting you do your thing.
Okay, let's pull it up here.
Because I know what's inside is pure gold. Like the knowledge you possess is like insane.
Can you hear that?
Admired that about Jourdanne. Gosh, it's crazy. So I mean, my question is like the management, like because I feel like the role that you have and the eyes that are on you, how do you manage that? Like, or I should say, like, when did you get? Because to me, I feel like there was a shift. Um, for you, I don't know if it was 2 years ago, if it was like a year and a half ago, or even a year ago, but something was just different when it came to like lifestyle prep. The people that you kept, like, you just didn't care, but the I don't give a fuck was with grace. So, how are you managing all of that? I've always wanted to pick your brain because I know what's inside is pure gold. Like the knowledge you possess is like insane, and I've always admired that about Jourdanne. Gosh, it's crazy. So I mean, my question is like the management, like because I feel like the role that you have and the eyes that are on you, how do you manage that? Like, or I should say, like, when did you get? Because to me, I feel like there was a shift.
Pop the next one. Let's see.
Like, how do you manage? I mean, I guess it's not a question. I've been following you since like 2018, but back then, like 2018, 19, like I remember the Jourdanne that would be transparently honest about her acne journey. So I just wanted to say your skin looks flawless, and I've just seen all stages of it, and you've been like such this confident person with and or without it. So I mean, like that was just like I just wanted to put that in there and say that I admire like your transparency of being vulnerable and just being a person when it comes to that. Another question.
Let's see. This is like such a disjointed way to do this.
It's okay.
About being an elite IFBB pro, like being top 10. Like I'm not talking about just like an IFBB pro. Like how like, what does it feel like? I guess, like, what are the obligations that you have? What are the can and cannot do's? Like how is it? Because like there are different levels to bodybuilding, and there's different levels to being a pro, and you're definitely top 10 IFBB Pro Olympian. Like for me, it's like you're gonna be in that first call outs, and then even if you do like a regular show, like you're the favorite to freaking win, bro. So I mean, like, how does it feel knowing that you're just the baddest bitch?
I'll pause them there, but yeah, in a nutshell,
Oh shit, that's funny. Oh, she's hilarious. She has such good energy.
I love her so much.
She, she has such good energy. Shout out to her also. I know she's been working her ass off. She's been she's been working her ass off, and it's awesome that she's able to obtain her pro card. But okay, so where do we start? So what does it feel like being in the top 10? Being a top 10 Olympia, what it feels like? It definitely feels like I have more of a responsibility within the industry to set an example even more than I have before, even more than I have before. And it's one that I've gladly accepted and I'm proud and I also feel like it's important for me to share a little bit more of kind of like who I am and what I do on a day-to-day basis to inspire people and educate people. I don't want to necessarily say like motivate, um, because motivation is short-lived, right? Motivation's like instantaneous.
Mhm.
Motivation can last you for like a day and then like you're over it. But feel that now it's even more important for me to leave an everlasting impact and a positive one on people. And like, again, like my thing has always been like being myself. And you can be successful being yourself and not pretending to be anyone else. You can. I've made it this far, doing so with lots of people that don't like me and people that do like me. Like, you don't have to change for anyone. You don't. Um, and again, like as long as you're living with genuine intent and you're genuine in your heart, like you're gonna go places in life and you're gonna do well and that will be recognized. But I just feel like I have even more of a responsibility to like maintain and share that authenticity and be relatable. Like the newer athletes to bodybuilding, I want them to be like, you know what? I can totally understand like where she's coming from and how she's feeling, you know?
Yeah.
Like I don't want them to feel like, well, like that's freaking impossible or like she's absolutely perfect and nothing ever goes wrong in her life because I'm not. I am the furthest thing from perfect. I have made my fair share of mistakes and complete and utter fuck ups. Like I am not a perfect human being and I want people to know that you don't have to be perfect to be successful and you don't have to be perfect to succeed. You just got to be you. That's all. You just have to be you. And she mentioned the word like management. Again, if you are just being your genuine self, you don't have anything to manage because you're not managing things that are untrue to
Exactly.
you. You're just you, you're just living. And like the other thing too that is really big for me, um, is I never act in a way that is going to like I do my best at least. Sometimes it may happen, but I do my best to like not intentionally like hurt people or I never attack people. That's just not how I roll. Unless I'm provoked, then I'm gonna stand up for myself.
Yeah.
But like, you know, I do my best to act with grace. I really, really do. And even if someone else is in the wrong and I know they're in the wrong, I'm not gonna be like, you fucked up this, you did that, da 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 da. I'm gonna kind of like massage it. You know what I mean?
Sometimes it's better to just kind of finesse those situations and just kind of take the high road and be like, everything's gonna reveal itself in the end. Like, I don't have a desire to like explain myself here or like correct this or correct that. Sometimes I think that's something I've noticed in you too, is like there's a way to gracefully just excuse yourself from a situation that speaks more volumes than even like involving yourself in it.
Yeah. And like the other thing too is if there are things flying around that are untrue about me, which there are a lot of, I don't care. Like you give breath to things and you defend yourself if you know you're in the wrong.
Yeah, exactly.
Like and then you gotta tell the whole freaking story and give the excuses in the background or what of whatever it is that went wrong, or if someone is saying shit about you or talking about you and then you have to go defend yourself, yo ass is in the wrong. Me, I don't pay attention to that shit because it ain't true and I don't care.
Because you're at the fucking gym trying to get your shit done.
Like I'm trying to like grow my hair and get this booty huge, like get these glutes juicy. Like I don't have time
Full-time
for
job.
bullshit.
That is
I
a
don't have time for the
full-time job.
nonsense. What's that?
I was like, that's a full-time job. People don't realize.
100%. Listen, listen, at this level, it is a full-time job. People don't understand. Like, it is like all of us at the top level, like, we eat, breathe, sleep, shit this all the time. Like, this is what we do. But, like, you have to be at the top. You have it's that intense. Truly, it's that intense. And people aren't gonna quite understand that, you know? But it is what it is.
I appreciate you so much. I know this hour just like flew by. I could talk to you probably like all day, honestly, but maybe I can convince you to come and chat and drop in for another one sometime. I know you've got a busy
Anytime.
schedule. That'd be so dope. What like
Anytime.
before I let you go, what is next for you and your coach, and how's that all working out? Are you loving that dynamic?
Yeah, everything is really good. This was the push that I needed to have me become a better athlete, like truly. So right now we are in an improvement season. Like we're on mission, get this hair long and these glutes big and juicy. Um,
Good. Hell
so
yeah.
yeah, so that's my goal. I'm just like building right now, maintaining a good body composition, which honestly I feel really good. I feel a lot better.
You look
Um,
incredible, and it shows not only just in your body, but like in your face, and also just like energetically how you are showing up. Like it really does show. That carries through.
Thank you. I appreciate that a lot. I
Yeah,
do. I've gotten like like probably like the last few months. I've gotten a lot of like positive feedback just about, that and people have noticed like how my energy's changed like in a good way
that's
and
the best compliment you can get is like, oh shit,
yeah.
like I guess I really am like I'm doing this thing.
Yeah, and
That,
and it feels good. It feels good because like honestly I've worked really 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 hard this year to just like be better. Like truly just like be better and be lighter and just kind of like leave things that, you know, don't matter in the past and move forward. Like truly. And like that shit takes work, man. Like that is hard work to do, but you really have to like find it within yourself to let go of those things, those like those little anchors that add up to be this one giant anchor that just drowned you. Like you got to release yourself from that so
yeah,
you can like be you, like not be you, but be a better version of you and a version of you that's continuing to thrive and grow. And it feels so good. Like honestly, and I just want to say for people out there, and if you guys that are listening, watching, like there are going to be times where life is trash, where
mhm.
life sucks, where you are going through it and you don't see a way out and you just want to give up. But I'm telling you, don't give up. Like, do not keep showing up for yourself every day. Like, Wake up, handle your business, like do what you need to do still on a day-to-day basis, because I guarantee you, when you do those things through the hard times, through the good times, those things are so much easier. And it takes work. You can't just live day to day without changing your habits or your environment or the people in your life and expect you to become better or you to improve. There are going to be some decisions that you have to make that are going to sting at the moment, but in the long run, in the big picture, it's better for you and it's going to make you a better person. And when you feel good, you're going to perform good. Things are just going to flow so much nicer for you. And again, it takes hard work, but nothing is impossible. You are given the gift of will to make decisions on a day-to-day basis. And I hope that those decisions that you guys make that are going through it are the good ones for yourself. You can lift yourself up. You have so much power within you that you have no idea. So much power. You just have to let everything else go, put everything else behind you and push on forward. Push on forward, no matter how damn high that hill is and how tired you are. Keep going, like one foot in front of the other, one foot in front of the other, and you're going to get there. And then when you finally get there, the feeling is so sweet, like it was all worth it. And then you look back and you're like, you know what? Did that shit. I did that.
You don't even fucking recognize yourself sometimes, and I love that. I absolutely love that. You just kind of like, we'll close with this, but you just reminded me of kind of a philosophy that I've been living by. And this is something that I heard a while back and it just really stuck with me. But you're talking about the anchors and how they exist back there and they will pull you back. They will. But it's always easier to revert back to something that's familiar to you, even if it's detrimental to your progress for whatever reason, like under times of duress or you're stressed, or it's always going to be easier to just go right back to those old tendencies and that old girl. Because for whatever reason, at whatever point in your life, like that did serve you in some way. But you do have a choice now. Like, what am I going to do about this? Am I going to step into this other person? And so, like, this philosophy of like a timeline, right? Like, there's different versions of you that exist on different timelines. So, like, your ideal person, whether it's Jourdanne wanting to get Miss Olympia, or whether it's me with my next goals, or my financial goals, or my life goals, or what kind of partner I want to have, she's out there already. Like she lives here and she's living it. She's living it good. Like she knows what she's doing. She does all the things that she needs to do every day. She is that person. And then there's this other version of me that still lives back here. And
Uh,
she's doing the things that is keeping her back here. That's how she's living. She's good at living like that. So you are like being called, like when you have those little moments of like, oh, like where whether it's like a creative spark or like a motivational moment where you feel motivated to do something to go better, like that's your future person like reaching for you, like throwing you a line, like, hey, like let go of the fucking anchor and grab the buoy, like here it's
yes,
right here, like here's your lifeline.
yes.
So if you literally just like step into those shoes and like be that person, the more you keep doing that every day, like you said, like you are going to reach that mountaintop. And of course, there's going to be another one after that and another one after that. But that's like really powerful. And when you kind of put it that way, like it seems very cliche, and people say it in so many different ways throughout time. But it's so fucking true. Like you have to shed your old skin. You have to stop doing the things that kept you this person in order to become that next person. And that's fucking scary. It's scary because you don't know what that looks like. You don't know, like, I don't know, but you can't be like one toe in, one. You got to be like, you got to stand on it. You got to go forward. You got to just fully commit and dive in sometimes and just go for it. And you will always surprise yourself at what you're capable of. You are
Yes,
capable. Yes.
absolutely.
Love
I
that.
couldn't agree more.
Love that. I love you. You're beautiful. Thank you so much for taking a minute to talk to me. I hope you have a great weekend, and I'm sure we'll be able to do this again soon. I would love that.
I would love to. Thank you for having me. I'm going to be cheering you on. I can't wait to see you in a few
I
weeks. And
know I'm gonna squeeze you so hard. I can't wait.
yes, thank you
Also,
for Good.
One final thing, both Aaron and I wanted to tell you is that the orange suit, okay,
Yeah.
we like it. It's good.
Yeah. That one's gonna be around for a minute.
It's good. That is
Yeah.
the orange.
Thank you.
All right, well, I'll see you in a couple weeks then.
Can't wait. See you in a
Bye. Of
few weeks, girl. Thanks for giving us a platform.
course.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.